Good evening, Swig Squad. T with the Diva here. Um, I have another Office Chronicle. Okay, so this Office Chronicle is it involves some weird type behavior. And when I say weird behavior, I mean in my opinion, the behavior was somewhat weird. So I just want to give a disclaimer that I'm not familiar with all diagnoses that deal with mental health. I don't know anything about a lot of diagnoses that deal with mental health. The only thing that I can talk about is an individual's behavior from my perspective. So this is what this story entails. So there was this young lady. She started out somewhere near the department that I started out in once I got in the company. She wasn't in that specific department, but she started out she was in a department that was somewhere near it because I can recall having conversations with her regarding all things beauty supply store. And what do I mean when I say that? I mean just chopping it up about just everything beauty supply, hair, nails, earrings, lashes, makeup, eyebrow arch stencils, glue, vitamin E oil, necklaces, curlers, wands, flat irons, like just conversing with her about just different things about beauty supply store items and like different things that I use or I get and what for what reason. So these will be the little things that we will chop it up about in the beginning. Fast forward, she ends up in the department that I will end up getting canned from. And she was totally different when I saw her in this department. So over the years, I didn't see her on a regular basis. So I don't know where exactly she worked at or who she worked with or anything. I just know that when I got to this area, she would eventually be there. So now she's different. And what do I mean when I say she's different? She wears the same exact outfit every day. The same black pants and the same black jacket. Same black slacks and black jacket combo. And I don't mean just like I wear this jean jacket or one of my jean jackets all the time. I mean, she wore the exact same slacks and the exact same black jacket every single day. Every single day. There was not no changing them. No, I got 15 pair of black pants. No, the same spots were in the same. That it was the same outfit. She would style her hair in individual like micro braids. But when she would get them redone, she would like get them redone in the same session as getting them taken out. For example, like she would get the top half or the front part redone. And when they would redo them, they would take the front part out, take the front braids out, and do the front braids right back over. So it was like we never saw her different type of braids or, a different braid style or a different braid pattern or like nothing like that. She would just wear the exact same like micro mini individual braids. She would take a spray bottle to the bathroom with her and she would only use the third stall. And when I say only use the third stall, if somebody was in the bathroom, like I've come in the bathroom and I would think that the stalls were all full because she's just standing there waiting. And I'm like, oh, it's full? Oh, let me stand behind you. She's like, no, it's not full. Nobody's in here. Oh, what you? No, I'm just waiting on this one. That's all. The rest of them are available. Okay, so I don't know what it was about the third one. It wasn't handicap either. It was the third one. Usually either the first one or the last one is handicap because they're usually bigger, right? No, this was a regular size one. So she's at the regular size stall, the third one, and only the third one, which I see is very tidy. I mean, of course, if you're taking your spray bottle in the bathroom with you, by all means, these people are very nasty. So, yeah, she would take her spray bottle so she can spray the toilet seat, spray the handle, spray the face bowl. She would take her spray bottle, and only use the third stall. Also, so we had gone paperless at this point, which means that you were supposed to have very little paper because everything is in the system, right? So we still had, our little binders with our little notes because sometimes everything didn't make it to the system. So, you had to kind of have a couple of notes from, back in the day and things that you can rely on. And she would have gobs of paper, just papers at her desk, just individual papers, just papers everywhere. Papers. Papers would be everywhere. It was a mess in her area because it was filled with just papers. And I don't even know what the papers were for, but it was just papers because, which brings me to my next point, she was one of the representatives that would take calls. So she would take phone calls, and if you would take a call and you had a member that called and complained about something that happened and you have to be the one to get it rectified, you have to do what's called write it up. You got to write it up so that you could send it over so that it could be corrected, and then you could get it back and then call them and let them know that you wrote it up and it has been corrected. Well, when her cases were passed along, there would be no reason to go back to her for clarification. What you had to do is start all over and do the work on your own. So what I mean by that is you have to pick up the phone, call the person, and kind of like maybe lie a little and say, hey, Mr. Brack, I see you called us on July 18th, and I just needed to know exactly what you needed because it's a little conflicting information here on this paperwork, and I just have to be certain of what you need so that I can know what I need to do in order to correct it. And then Mr. Brock will go on and tell you why he called, what he called about, what happened, what the issue was, and you let him know that I'm getting on that now. I'm going to complete that, and then you're going to get your answer. And then you would then go and do whatever it is that you have to do, and you would never go back to her and ask her what it is that she wanted or needed or what he said, because she would never know. Never. And then if you were sitting near her and you heard her on the phone giving out incorrect information, you think, that's not right. Why is she saying that? He's going to think that such and such and such and such and. But you're not going to say anything because guess what? She won't understand what you're saying anyway. She'll keep asking you. over and over and over and over. So what did you mean? So what did you say? So what you think I should tell them? So what did you, so I should, so you think, so I shouldn't say, so you think I should, and it would just cause too many. So you just don't say anything. You listen to the call and you listen to how she handled it, and you just shake your head and say, I'm not dealing with that. And then on our end, when we would get the information that she sent over, we knew that we would have to redo it. Could we have gone to management and complained and complained and complained? Yeah, I guess, but nobody was going to say anything. It kind of was like just everybody knew. It was just something that we all knew. It was like you wouldn't go to anybody and report it because they would almost look at you like you're crazy. You know who did that. So you know what you got to do. You know that once you get something with her name on it, you just know you have to work it. So you knew that you weren't going to report anything because management was probably going to look at you like you was crazy and then act like you don't know what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to just do it. You don't know that? It didn't make no sense to correct her. It didn't make any sense. You just knew that you were going to get that person again because most times, she didn't even sound like she was certain. So, when you saw that name, you just said, okay, I know I'm just going to have to do double work. I know I'm just going to have to reach out. I know I'm going to have to make sure that I complete this. I know that I'm going to have to, 10% of the time she would get it right. If it was some easy stuff that, she just knew how to do, she would get that right sometimes. But most of the time, it wasn't going to be right. And you was going to have to do it over. And you just knew you were. You weren't going to argue about it either because you already knew that was a situation when you picked up that piece of paper and it had that name on it. So, yeah, it was just that she was just nice. She was a nice person. And like I always said, these things like this can go on and nobody would mind having to do these things over as long as it wasn't me. So if it involved someone else, or if it was just somebody that we just knew, we just had to do their work over because they weren't going to understand when you told them what to do anyway. You just knew that's what you had to do. And I just knew that I didn't have that same favor. Favor ain't fair. Some people have favor and some people don't, And I just had to get used to that being my normal. So yeah, that was the situation with that. I don't know if she's still there. She definitely was when I left. I haven't heard about her in a while. If she not, she probably retired on her own or something like that. Because I know I haven't heard about her being terminated or anything. So yeah, that was another story about somebody else so nobody else had to be reprimanded for like they mistakes and the errors that they will make except me. So yeah, that was one of many Office Chronicles. And yeah, that was the end of that story, Swig Squad. So it was just the example of favor not being fair, and I guess she was a nice person. That's it. Tea with the Diva. Out.